5:18, Phillipton heading home on a Wednesday. As we've been hearing, the Court of Appeal has tonight rejected all legal challenges to the HS2 high-speed railway from London to Birmingham, Manchester and Leeds. The line, when complete, would pass right through the heart of Warwickshire. The objectors, including 15 councils and some residents' associations, have been told they can take their case to the Supreme Court. So, will they? Bearing in mind that construction on HS2 is due to start in 2017, what next for the campaigners? The High Speed Rail Minister, Simon Byrne, says it's the second time in 4 months a court has rejected these attempts to derail HS2 and therefore is now urging people to get behind the project. So, will they? Joe Rukin is from Stop HS2, joins us on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire now. Hi, Joe.
Good evening, Phil.
You sound very upbeat, but I'd imagine you're quite disappointed with today's outcome.
No, not really. All today's shown is that, it might be, what the government are proposing might be immoral, it might be criminal, but it's not illegal. We take, great solace from the fact that the Court of Appeal has given us straight off leave to appeal to the Supreme Court, which we think is the first time that's actually ever happened, and that on the environmental cases, it was actually a split decision. There were 3 judges, and one of them was actually in our favour. So, we're quite happy with this, to be perfectly honest.
But they have rejected what you've said, haven't they? So. Well,
one of the judges didn't. 2 of them did. Two of the judges did. One of them didn't. So, it was 2-1 in the government's favour on the environmental grounds. But the legal challenge, and this is only one of the legal challenges because we're planning a class action as well. But this is only one string to the campaign. And what we found is that the more that HS2 is out there and in the public eye, the more people find out about the details and the more people realise it's a bad idea. We've had a growing number of rail experts, Adam Mills, the bloke who was in charge of HS1 when it was set up, has said this is HS2 is away with the fairies. Tony Collins, the chief exec of Virgin Trains, has said that this is a vanity project. You can't buy an economist in favour of HS2. The only environmental organisations that think it's a good idea are surprisingly the ones that get funding from government. More and more politicians are coming out against. We had, one of Ed Miliband's, Ed Miliband appointed a new advisor last week, and on the day he was appointed said HS2 is a bad idea. You've had Lord Mandelson, you've had, the former rail minister from the Labour Party come out against
Lord
as well.
Adonis, yeah.
Lord Adonis, it was his idea. Tom, I've got his surname. But anyway, the bloke who was rail minister until Lord Adonis was appointed has just come out against. And you've got 2 chancellors of the Exchequer, Nigel Lawson, Alistair Darling, have both said, just don't do this vanity project, daft idea, invest in the current infrastructure. So it's no surprise that Simon Burns has tried to use this as an attempt to say, we're doing everything right. No, they're not doing everything right. It's just that what they've done isn't illegal or isn't bad enough to be illegal. And one of the judges today thought it was. So, it's like back in March when they lost the case on compensation, and when the judge said it was so unfair as to be illegal, they said, we won on everything else, so it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, you've just conducted an illegal consultation.
What I'd say to you, Joe, and I understand everything you're saying, and I really do, and have sympathy with your position and where and the fighting stance you're taking. But if this was a football game, the result's 2-1. You've lost. So you are now left with having to go to the Supreme Court, aren't you? Will you do that?
Oh, absolutely. Next stop, Supreme Court. Bring it on. I'd say you might look at it like a football game, but look at it more like a European fixture. We've still got the second leg to come.
And you've got an away goal.
Exactly, yes.
Interesting. So what happens next, Joe, in terms of this Supreme Court battle? Because, like I say, the clock is ticking. Construction starts in 2017. Supreme Court cases are notoriously long-winded. What's your next move now?
Well, we've got that coming up. There's funding to, there'll be a funding appeal for that from HS2 Action Alliance. We've got party conferences coming up where we've made a lot of headway talking to MPs, other politicians, party activists. The Labour Party is really starting to shift because the latest polling showed that, you've got a massive number of their voters are opposed to the scheme. In fact, the latest polling showed that in terms of the general public, 46% against, 34% for. So there's 12% difference. And it was only 2% difference back in January. And when Stage 2 was announced back in January, that was meant to, as far as the government concerned, bring loads of people more on board in favour. And it's done exactly the opposite. Because what it's done is meant that HS2 is more in the spotlight. And the more people find out about this, the fact that the cost went up 10 billion quid 3 weeks ago, 30% increase in cost, 4 years before a shovel scooter hit the ground. Like, people look at that and they look at the cuts that are happening and they think, why?